South.
Good evening and welcome to Up South, the show that gets you all the top news stories of the day from South India. With me, T.S. Sudhir. Later on in the show, we'll get you all the news from the National Film Awards with the big winners from the South Indian film industry. But our top story this evening on Up South is on a judgment, a landmark judgment of the Supreme Court that upholds freedom of expression. The Supreme Court today struck down a provision in the cyber law that provides for arrest of a person for posting allegedly obscene content on websites. Terming liberty of thought and expression as cardinal, the Supreme Court bench said the public's right to know is directly affected by Section 66A of the Information Technology Act. It also said that the provision clearly affects the fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression enshrined in the Constitution. What this means is that what happened to someone like Ravi Srinivasan, a businessman, won't happen again. Srinivasan was charged by the Puducherry police in 2012 for reportedly tweeting against then Union Minister P. Chidambaram's son Karthi Chidambaram. Srinivasan had reportedly called Karthi Chidambaram corrupt in one of his tweets. We spoke to both Ravi Srinivasan and Karthi Chidambaram for their reactions to this landmark judgment.
66A has been struck down. It must also be kept in mind that this is not a license for people to say slanderous and defamatory things about anybody. There must be protection for the fair name of an individual. While there could have been ample cases of abuse in 66A, one must also keep in mind that the contrary is also true. There is sometimes unfettered and abusive criticism in social media, and there must be some sort of safeguard for people's reputation from being defamed and slandered.
Right, let's find out how this verdict is being viewed on the ground. Joining me from Bengaluru is my colleague Pratibha Raman, India's IT city with a huge presence on social media. How is it really reacting to the demise, if I may say, of 66A?
Well, Sudhir, I think Bangalore is really celebrating the cyber freedom here, but then there are certain people who actually think that it should definitely come with certain riders, because it's not just about sharing thoughts or sharing ideas or sharing knowledge, but then once you say it is cyber freedom, people will also get really offensive without any kind of restriction on that, and that is worrying some of them. I have with me one such youngster. Mr. Raj, can you talk about this whole cyber freedom? Everywhere you go, the freedom of speech is always curtailed, but at least on social media it prevails. What is your reaction?
If you have to ask me personally, social media is a platform where you can put whatever you want without bothering as to who is going to stop you. And there was a curtail because of a personal incident, which was more later become a political agenda. And the ruling, I think, is misinterpreted because freedom of speech, if you ask 8 people out of 10 people, 8 will say that okay, now I can post whatever I want on social media, nobody is going to bother me. But I think the law could have been much better and altered in a way that there is clauses which stop people from posting offensive material or anything which is abusive or which can harm somebody's personal integrities and stuff. But I think now, if you ask anybody, people will say, okay, now I have the freedom to post whatever I want, and I think it's a huge mistake which I think will be misused for sure.
So there he had it. So most of them will get offensive without having any kind of restrictions, and that could lead to a lot of law and order issues, and that is what is worrying some of the Bangaloreans. But then on the whole, Bangalore is really celebrating this cyber freedom. Sudhir.
Right, Pratibha, thanks a lot for joining us there with that perspective. Obviously, freedom of expression is a welcome thing, but of course the public will also have to use that freedom very, very judiciously. Thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. Now, for the last 1 week, we have been covering in detail the D.K. Ravi case, the IAS officer who was found dead in mysterious circumstances at his apartment in Bengaluru on Monday last. But now in Vellore district of Tamil Nadu, about 180 kilometers from Kolar, where actually D.K. Ravi had taken on the sand mining mafia, something very interesting and something very unique is happening. It is the villagers there who are taking on the sand mining mafia in their very, very unique way.
The sand mining mafia wanted to construct the sand quarry in Kalatur village in Vellore, Tamil Nadu. So they did what they usually do. Bribe the villagers to silence the opposition to the project. 2.18 lakh rupees was paid as bribe to villagers. But what the Kalatur residents did next surprised the mafia. They deposited the money in the Chief Minister's relief fund.
நாங்கள் விட மாட்டோம், ஒரே ஒரு புடி மண்ணு கூட விட மாட்டோம், எங்கள் உயிரை கூட விடுவோம், நாங்கள் வர்ற மாதிரியே இல்லை.
The villagers say the quarry will reduce groundwater levels, impacting both drinking water supply and water for irrigation.
ஊரில் பூனின்ற கிராமத்தில் பூனின்ற ஏரியாவில் மணல் குவாரி முடிய போகுது. அது முடிஞ்சோடனே களத்தூர் சங்கரன்மாடி ஏரியாவில் மணல் குவாரி நடக்க வரப்போகுது. அதனால் மணல் கொள்ளையர்கள் எங்கள் கிராமத்தில் முக்கியமான ஒரு 20 பேர்கிட்ட ஊர் தலைவர், கவுன்சிலர், வார்டு மெம்பர் எல்லார்கிட்டையும் பணம் கொடுத்து அவங்க மூலிமா எங்களாண்ட பேசி மக்களை வேலைக்கு வாங்குறதுக்காக அவங்கள ரெடி பண்ணாங்க.
The 300 families have been protesting against setting up of the quarry for the last 18 months. In fact, the police had booked cases against many of the protesters.
The contractor, Mr. Karikalan, he is trying to use all illegal means to obtain sand mining permits here in the village. And the district administration is colluding with the sand mafia. They have booked so many cases against these villagers. Around 350 of the villagers have been booked against various cases for the past 1.5 years.
The idea behind donating the money to Tamil Nadu government is both to embarrass the state that has supported the mafia instead of the people and to put the spotlight on the anti-people policies pursued by the establishment. With Srisha Reddy in Chennai, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
On the National Film Awards came from Kannada film industry, where actor Sanchari Vijay has won the Best Actor award for his role as a transgender. My colleague Rohini Swami caught up with Vijay.
It's a milestone in Indian cinema where the National Award for the Best Actor is being given to a movie that is dedicated to transgenders. I'm here with Sanchari Vijay. You transformed yourself to become a transgender in the movie to portray that, and what did you get? You get the Best Actor National Award. Not just one, you have another award. You're also a National Award for the movie you're the lead actor in.
Yeah, I did a lead actor in another movie, Harivu, which won regional best movie.
So 2 awards in your kitty, but absolutely the country is proud of you, the way you have acted. Was it difficult to do what you did?
Yeah, it is. It was really difficult because both are different characters. One is a poor village farmer, and even another one is, it's not my character, it's completely out of my character, it's a transgender.
Right.
So I did both the characters. Yeah, I don't know how I did, because but I tried and I worked hard. I work hard for both the characters.
You definitely have worked hard because it shows. But was it easy to have observed transgenders and then try to get it into your skin and try to get into the character and act?
Yes, before going to do this character, transgender character, I went to traffic signals and observed their behaviors, characters, how they are moving, walking, what they are thinking, and all those things I carefully observed. And I went to their places, their houses, and what was their crowd and how they are joining with each other.
Yes.
So these are the minute things I observed before getting into the character. That helps me a lot.
And how did you react? You knew that you were in the race with some of the big names in the industry. How did you react when you heard that you got the National Award?
Yeah, really. I didn't know that. One of my friends sent me a message that Sanchari Vijay is in the race, that too a National Award race. And his competitors are Amir Khan, Shahid Kapoor and Mammootty, such big stars. I thought somebody is misguiding me or something. But when I see today in the channels, I was really excited that really I'm a competitor with such a huge and big stars. I was really happy.
Right from the time when Linga was released on December 12, 2014, it has been mired in controversy.
I think Rajinikanth knows the business of cinema better than any other actor in India. All these years, I mean, he had a long time at the top as a superstar because he understands the way that the commercial cinema functions. And I think it was both times he got a lot of mileage for giving back the money. And this is the 3rd time. And I think it's a very good thing that he has done it because it will give him one more time to do business.
Right. Mr. Pillai, would this also dilute the brand equity of Rajinikanth, that perhaps the next time a Rajini film is going to be released, the distributors would be more circumspect, perhaps a little more realistic?
I don't think the next movie will be marketed the way Linga was marketed. He would be far more careful, a far bigger producer and somebody who understands or who knows Tamil cinema business. He will only do a big budget movie with them, and he would be very, very careful, and he would pick up local distributors, the veteran distributors again for the next film. And he has to do it if he has to have a longer innings.
Right, Mr. Sridhar Pillai, thanks a lot for joining us with that perspective on the Linga controversy from Chennai. That's it then on Up South. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.